ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Explore with an X in it, because we're cool like that. I'm your host, I need a better name, and today I found something that is extraordinary. Take a closer look. Look at that over there. An elusive specimen nowadays, but that, friends, is a wild Pharisee in its natural habitat. Now, the thing with these creatures is you want to stay out of their sights, as they're little feisty creatures. Though from here we should be...
Your shorts are too short, and what?
The Pharisees were a Jewish sect founded sometime around 170 to 160 BC. They were basically Jewish leaders who made and carried out religious law. The Pharisees had many opinions, and they were sure to make them known, which was easy because a lot of people were sure to listen. The Pharisees believed that people could and should be continuing their worship of God outside of the temple, and even outside of Jerusalem. They thought that worship was made of prayer and learning God's law rather than animal sacrifices that were done in the temple. Like I said before, when the Pharisees spoke, people listened. They were actually fairly well liked in the community. The Pharisees themselves were actually not any type of elite, though some did have wealth. The Pharisees believed in the authority of Torah, but also knew it was important to interpret and apply it to their lives. This later became a system of their interpretations and traditions called oral law or oral Torah. The Pharisees were also strong believers in the idea of purity. They followed strict rules regarding their dietary laws, their clothes, praying, and many other things. If there was something that the Pharisees deemed to be impure, they would actively avoid it. Also, unlike the Sadducees, the Pharisees believed that after death there would be an afterlife. They also believed in resurrection of both the spirit and body, where the two will be joined together again. Typically in the New Testament, Pharisees are depicted as an opponent of Jesus. Some Pharisees were okay with him and became followers of Jesus, such as Paul, but generally Jesus and the Pharisees weren't on great terms. There were several reasons that may be why the Pharisees didn't like Jesus, but the most likely reason is probably due to Jesus exposing them and calling them hypocrites. Later in 70 CE, following the destruction of the Second Temple, the Pharisees had become the primary religious group among the Jews. The Pharisees' practices can be found in Rabbinic Judaism's development, as rabbis continued interpreting and expanding oral law after succeeding the Pharisees. Later they would record these traditions, and they would become the basis of Jewish law.